So, fam, hey, man, it's going to be a marvelous discussion today. Of course, y'all see I'm putting on that body butter this morning, right? Getting ready for the show. I got to make sure that my hair is in line or something. But listen, we're going to be continue the discussion about the microbiome today, right? But we're going to be talking about it in connection to your breathing, family. This is going to be an incredible discussion. Make sure you're here, right? And also, I am able to ship that Ambrosia. So make sure you get in touch with me so that you can support the journey and the journey can support you. It's up and we on and we popping. And now let's get started. All right, here we go. Bring them out, bring them out. Bring them out, bring them out. Bring them out, bring them out. All right, I want to welcome everybody to the Daily Toast, and I want to say great Nia to each and every one of you. I am doing great, and I hope that you are doing even greater, right? Today is a day of purpose. The 5th day of my fast, and I'm just now feeling good. You know, for the last couple of days, I've been like, blah. Yesterday, I was a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? On Ujima, I was like, now I'm like, I woke up at like 2:25, and I'm like, dang, I can go back to sleep. Got up, did my breathing exercises. You know what I'm saying? I already showered up and all that. I'm like, man, hey, man, I'm telling you something about these fasts, man. I'm telling you. The only thing, see, yesterday, this is why I'm excited. Yesterday, I did my show on the microbiome, right? And I had done some research on it before because when I started doing Ambrosia, the reason I started doing Ambrosia was, one, I like the brew. 2, I felt that my people needed something, but they didn't need sugar. We needed honey or something. So I had to come up with something else, right? So I'm hearing about this stuff called kombucha. Kombucha is made with sugar and black tea. Now, make a long story short, we know we don't need no more sugar in our community. We know this. Right? We know that sugar is the number one drug on the street. You know what I'm saying? Even though nobody is talking about it like that, it's the number one drug on these streets. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to be a sugar peddler, right? So I found out about June, which gave me the recipe to do that Ambrosia. So, all right. So I'm doing the research on the microbiome yesterday. Right? And you have to see the show, right? Not, or at least read the article that goes with the blog. This is why, family. When you start looking at the latest research on gut health, the latest research, even though our ancestors taught that all diseases start in the gut, they are just now catching up with this fact in America. They're just now catching up with this fact in Western medicine. Every last disease, listen, we can easily, I ain't gonna say, we could prevent almost 90% of the ailments that people are having in our community by dealing with gut health. Now, one of the things that I kept on running across was diabetes, Crohn's disease, irritable bowel syndrome. I'm running into all this with people in my lives, and I lost one of my elders because of diabetes, type 2 diabetes and shit. You know what I'm saying? We got people suffering all throughout our community with these diseases that have a connection to the gut health. So family, listen, we onto something big, because one of the first things that they keep talking about is getting probiotics into the diet to help with the microbiome. Also making sure that people understand that you got to eat culturally appropriate food. I'm just gonna leave it right there. Culturally appropriate food. We're not eating that. So let's get this toast started. And I'm really excited because I sent a box of that Ambrosia thousands of miles, and it made it. So this means that I could ship Ambrosia to anybody that donates to gye-nyame. Ain't even donate, that gives the gye-nyame. You give the gye-nyame give back to you. Alright, so boom. First, make sure you drink your water, family. Come on now, let's go. Because the only things we need is what? Air, water, proper food, and movement. That's it. Everything else is a supplement. Outside of air, because we're going to talk about the microbiome and the lungs today. Microbiome and breathing today, family. Now, also, if you look in my article, I talk about the connection. Listen, gentlemen. Listen, ladies. The connection between the microbiome, a healthy microbiome, and a healthy sexual life. Y'all need to check that out. Because those little gut bacteria affect your sexual performance as well as your sexual pleasure. So, alright, come on, drink that water, family. Shouts out to Queen Fatima. Shouts out to, of course, Sister Sheila. Shouts out to Brother David. Thank y'all for joining. Get your water. Now, we grown folks. We toast up the ancestors with glass. Y'all see I'm wasting water. I'm excited, man. I'm thinking about breaking my fast today, but I don't know. Going for those 32 ounces. Alright. Somebody said go a couple more days. You say go a couple more days? I ain't gonna make no promises. Cause I've been having dreams about food. Nah, actually I had a pretty bad dream last night. A couple more days. Tell me why. Tell me why a couple more days. Cause I am on a high right now. Today we got the ginseng ambrosia. Hold on, maybe y'all can hear it. Oh, didn't hear it. Yeah, I think I might eat this ginseng root today. Oh, excuse me. Alright, so we're going to get that ginseng in us. We're going to toast these ancestors. First, call on the Creator by whatever name you choose to call that Creator. We call that great force. We call that power, that central power, the source of all. We call it into our presence, even though we already know it's here. We just acknowledge it, right? And we lift it up. And we lift ourselves up into it. And we toast and we say, Ashe. From there, we move to our personal ancestors. We call on our ancestors. We call on our loved ones. We call on those carriers of us. We call on those carers of us. We call on those lovers of us. We call on all of those ancestors that made their transition. We call on all of our friends and family that made their transition. We call on all of those children that made their transition. We call on all of our elders that made that transition. We call on all those defenders in our lives or were defenders in our lives who made that transition. We call on them, we remember them, we ask them to be present with us as we pour, as we drink to them, right? We lift up our glass to them, we remember them, we send love, because you know what I'm saying, love is a bond, man, and it can't be broke, not even by this thing that they got us fearing in the West called death, because we know in our tradition that death is just another continuation in life, is another step in the life process, and we accept this, right? And we salute those who have made that transition. We salute those who went before us. So we lift up our glass to them, and we remember our grandmothers and our grandfathers. We remember our aunts and our uncles. We remember our friends and our cousins. We remember our sons and our daughters. We remember our nephews and our nieces. Man, we remember all those that made the transition. And if you got any, please post them up so I can shout them out for you. Or you can shout them out for yourself as you do the toast with me. But I'm going to do my family line if y'all don't mind. Miles Brown, Mizanne, Robert and Texana Davis, Herman Brown Sr., Rosalie Tilly, Georgia William Walton, Christopher Fatty Gasson, Aunt Lena, Uncle Chris, Geneva Brown, Cleveland Brown, Margaret Ellis, Cecil Ellis, Wash Ellis, my Aunt Elvira Brown, my Aunt Gina, Normal X, Sapet Mott Ra, Elder Hairston, Elder Donaldson, Elder Farmer, Jamon Jones, John Fillard, Montague Pittman L, Jeremiah Tappan, Dr. Mary Ann Williams, Geronimo Pratt, also known as Mayat. Oh, I can't remember the name that he changed to. That's all I can think of right now, so we lift up the glass and we say, Ashe. From there, we move on to the present moment. The day is near. Remember today. Remember the principle of the day. Remember that all of the things that go with today. And we lift up and we say, Ashe. From there, we move to our children, our children's children, onto infinity. Because everything that we build, everything that we do is for them. And we lift up our glass and we say, Ashe. Last but not least, I toast you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for blessing us with your presence, whether it's live right now or whether it's in the future through YouTube or through Facebook. I toast each and every last one of you. I toast you through your struggles. I toast your victories. You know what I'm saying? I even toast your defeats, because from those we learn lessons, right? Life is about struggling. Life is about suffering and being able to make it through the suffering so that we can get to the other side and taste the victory, right? So we toast and we say Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. I wish you peace, power, joy, and 100 years. That's a grown man drink. Woo! Or a grown woman. And the ginseng root has been in there so long. Yep, activating the lymphatic system. Well, actually, I need to do a little bit of movement this morning, but this is actually getting the floor in my gut jumping around. Right? It's like boom, they're getting reinforcements. See, we have been taught totally wrong about our bodies, right? We got compartments, you know what I'm saying? We got the digestive system, we got the lymphatic system, we got the cardiac system, you know what I'm saying? We got these different parts, when in fact, our body is a whole. And because we're not looking at it as a whole, we kind of do it a disservice, because we'll take medicine for the heart, but that medicine for the heart will affect the liver, right? Then we'll take something for the liver, and what we take for the liver will affect the kidneys. And then what we take for the kidneys will affect the gallbladder. And what we take for the gallbladder will affect the colon, right? And we need to start getting our children to start thinking in a more holistic fashion, so that when they go into these fields, they could do a better job of healing. Those that follow my show about fashion, you know that physically our body is encased in a very intelligent fiber, right, called the fascia, that is as sensitive and has as many sense organs as your entire body. I mean, it's like the complexity is on the level of the iris in your eye. This is how many nerve cells is running through this fascia, right? So it's like, boom, we're just learning about this, right? And then we start just now finding about, as far as Western medicine, just now finding out about the gut flora, and that, you know what I'm saying, that do you understand that only 10% of the cells in your body are human? Only 10%. What does that mean? Goddamn. Listen, you have a whole ecological system. You have a universe at your command called your body. And because we have not been taught the reverence of the body, you know what I'm saying? Because we don't understand that our body is an expression of our mind. Our body is the expression of our spirit, and is the tool that we've been given to manifest what we need on this planet, right? We're not using it right. We're not looking at it right. Matter of fact, most of us look at it as a hindrance. When this is the damn thing, this is the thing that's going to move us through everything. Good grief. I'm sorry, I be going off of my rants, man, but it's just, this is the detox, fam. This is the detox. Maybe you might get, nope, I got a loose top on that one too. So that means somebody been slipping into my stash. A man can't have nothing. Nothing. All right, this is the detox formula that I'm working on. Pretty strong. I ain't got to take a whole glass of it, but it helped kind of push out some of the poisons that I take in. All right. So, family, make sure that you tune in, because we're going to be talking about the microbiome and the lungs. So now we're gonna bring it right back around to the breath, because in a sense we started off talking about breathing, right? Far as the importance of the breath. Take a breath with me, family. Right? Now when you take a breath in, right, your chest and actually the belly expands and then the chest expands afterwards. Right? Now what happens is that your diaphragm stretches and it massages all of the internal organs. So another good thing that we could do is to focus on our breath, and I'm going to talk about that more on the video. It'll be coming out, it'll be out about 9. So Facebook, I want to thank all of you for joining me. I see Miss Jeanette Jackson, I see of course Miss Sheila, I see Queen Fatima, I see our brother David. I want to thank all of y'all. Go back up to the top of the timeline. Check out the Nguzo Saba challenge, because I'm telling you the information that's coming in that will change your mind. It's a 21-day challenge, right? And we talk about changing the mind, but we also are introducing you to the breathing exercises, the culturally appropriate foods, because people don't understand they're culturally appropriate foods that we really need to start paying attention to. And I found out yesterday that the microbiome is so sensitive that it changes with each meal that we eat. Did you hear what I said? Right? You go from one group of bacteria to a whole nother group of bacteria in less than 24 hours with one meal. Right? So you can have healthy bacteria in the morning, but then slip up at lunchtime and have unhealthy bacteria running around at you by night. Incredible, right? So your system is constantly working, and we got to learn to work with it and learn the laws of our the 5 aspects of our being, right? That intuition, mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical. Get those working right, so that we can start becoming healthy. I ain't saying become boring. I ain't saying, you know what I'm saying? Because I know some of y'all like eating. I like eating. You know what I'm saying? I like getting it in. You know what I'm saying? But there's a way that we could get it in where we can live a long life. A lot of us are living artificial lives. A lot of our relatives are living artificial lives. What I mean? We're living lives that are being sustained by drugs. Synthetic. We're living synthetic, processed lives. So we're alive, but we're not living, right? You know what I'm saying? I want to be sexually active until I die. God damn it. I'm just being honest with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to chase somebody down the street if I have to until I die. I want to be able to, if I have to, stick my fist through somebody's face until I die. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to hike in the woods until I die. I want to be able to swim until I die. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to deteriorate. You know what I'm saying? I understand we're aging, certain things slow down, but the aging that we're seeing right now is not proper aging, family. This is shit that we've been programmed for. They've been putting this on TV. They've been convincing us that as you get older, you are supposed to get worse. No, family. We are like wine. We get better with age. You're supposed to get better. Our elders back in the day didn't move slow because they was old. They moved slow because they became masters at what they did. So every movement for them was like 10 from a young person. But I'm going to stop there. Facebook, I want to thank you. YouTube is us now. We on and popping. So I'm going to give you a break. I'm so glad that you could join us today. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. this fast, man, is incredible, and I just got to harness the discipline because maybe I might go a couple more days. I don't know, but I'm due to break it today. But we got to fast again around the 20th. I think it's the 20th, the 21st, and the 22nd to bring in the official summer, and also we're gonna start getting prepared for the eclipse in August. All right. So today we're gonna be talking about breathing life into lung microbiome, the research into it, right? This is I got an article from the scientists. I also got another article from, now this is important, fam, so kind of stick around if you can. I don't know where this article is from. I just be pulling them off. But now, this is the important thing to realize, right? Because we bringing it back around to the breath. Breath is the first thing that we need to be focusing on. It's one of the most important things. It is the most important thing in our life. We might drink, you know what I'm saying? How many bottles of water you drinking a day? How many cups of water you drinking a day, right? You probably got a number in your head. Hold that number. How many meals will you eat in a day, right? Including snacks, right? Not nice number, but it compares nothing to how many breaths you're taking a day. You are taking about 30,000 breaths a day. Let me say that again. You take 30,000 breaths a day, estimated. That's about 10 million breaths a year, right? So the hardest working system, right, if we want to break them down into systems, your body is constantly working, right, digesting and stuff. But the one thing that you're always doing is breathing. Now, this has an effect on the microbiome as well, right? Now, but also the other gifts from this is that through the breath, we get a direct link with the mind and the spirit, and we can really start learning to control and to switch from state to state. And what I mean from state to state is like you have different mental states where through your breath you're able to manipulate. Breath is the way to move towards self-mastery. Breath is the key, right? Breath is the key to life, right? So when we breathe properly, what we do is we massage the gut, right? And by us allowing our belly to swell and allowing the I forgot what it's called right here. It'll come to me in a second. Allowing this muscle right here to stretch down, it massages all of this, keeping it nice and healthy, right? So breathing life into lung microbiome. Although it's far less populated than the mouth community that helps feed it, researchers increasingly appreciate the role of the lung microbiome in respiratory health. So all of it's connected because this go on. All of this is connected, right? So you got a microbiome in your lungs. If the human digestive tract were a river from the mouth extending through the stomach and intestines, ending at the anus, the lungs would be pooled alongside the river that are often swept by eddying currents. Lungs of aspirated bacteria from the mouth. He's on my fault. Obviously, something got cut off. So, oh God, here we go. But through the action of cilia and the cough reflex, among other things, there's also an outward flow of microbes, making the lung microbiome a dynamic community. Like the placenta, urethra, and other sites of the body now known to harbor commensal bacteria, researchers and clinicians once considered the lungs to be sterile in the absence of infection. Over the last 10 years, however, evidence has been building that although it is far less populated than the mouth or the gut, the disease-free lung too is populated by persistent community of bacteria. Shifts in the lung microbiome have been correlated with the development of chronic lung conditions like cystic fibrosis or chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD. Although the relationship between the lung microbiome and disease is complicated. The surface area of the healthy lung is a dynamic environment. The respiratory organ is constantly bombarded by debris and microbes that make their way from the mouth and the nose through the trachea. Ciliated cells on branching bronchioles within the lungs beat rhythmically to move debris and invading microbes, while the alveolar macrophages constantly patrol for and destroy unwelcome bugs. So when you breathe, now the nose is for breathing, the mouth is for eating, right? So now you don't switch those, right? You don't shove food up your nose, right? So stop trying to take breath in through your mouth. Now you can breathe out through your mouth, right? You know what I'm saying? But you got, the nose is for breathing, the mouth is for eating. You don't need to switch those because you never try to stick a sandwich in your nose. You know what I'm saying? So you don't need to start trying to put air down your mouth. All right? Because the nose has the filters that help filter out some of the things, and it has that, we spoke about it, the nitric oxide that is released, right, in your nasal cavity that kind of help purify and also relaxes the internal organs, or so that blood can flow a little bit smoother, and as well as kill some of those bacteria and germs. When researchers first began to study possibilities of lung microbiome, skeptics abounded. As Leopoldo Segal of New York University Langone Medical Center started presenting his research at conferences in 2009, it was not uncommon to have someone stand up and say, "I was looking for life on the moon," he recalled. The most common criticism of his and other early studies was that because the microbes found in the lungs were a subset of those from the mouth, they could simply have been the result of contamination. In the time since, several groups have replicated Segal's finding that a subset of oral bacteria live in healthy lungs, and many researchers now accept the idea of a lung-specific microbiome. The lung microbiome is about 1,000 times less dense than the oral microbiome and about a million to 1 billion times sparser than the microbial community of the gut. That is in part because the lungs lack the microbe-friendly mucosal lining found in the mouth and the gastrointestinal tract, instead harboring a thin layer of much less inviting suffocant to keep the respiratory organs from drying out. In a review article published in the Lancet Respiratory Medicine this March, well, it wasn't this March, Humfragel and his colleagues argued that the lungs are like the South Pacific, with a small island of cluster bacteria and wide stretches of unpopulated regions between them. It appears that the lung microbiome is populated from the oral microbiome, and among this population exists a small subset of bacteria that can survive the unique environment of the lung. The most common bacteria found in healthy lungs are Streptococcus, Pertuvula, and Veillonella species. Now, let me say this. So, we have a microbiome in our mouth. Damn, I got to look at that. We have a microbiome in our mouth. We have one in our lungs. We have one in our gut. All of them are connected and they're working together, and they're helping to digest and to get energy, to get nutrients and energy from the breathing as well as the eating process that we go through. Incredible. You are incredible, my friend. All right, let's move on because this one is a little more. Take a deep breath. Your lungs microbiome would appreciate. This is from April 2016. There was a time when our reaction to bacteria might have been to eradicate at all costs. Now, this is the issue, right? Because a lot of us, because I'm working on this in my house right now. A lot of us, we got these cleansers in our house that are destroying our microbiome, because not only is there a microbiome inside of you, is a microbiome on your skin. Family, we are teeming with healthy bacteria, right? And I ain't telling you to get dirty. I ain't telling you that. But what I'm telling you is that your body, right, is an ecology. You are, in a sense, God of this universe, because you have trillions of cells. And I want you to think about this. What you think and what you think about and how you think affects your universe, right? You have just as many cells in your body as there are stars in stars in the universe. I want you to think about that, right? You, family. And I want you to think, you got all these cells that are working towards your survival. And when we get out of balance, that's when we got other cells coming in trying to break it down. They're only rebelling because you're not focused on what you're supposed to be doing. Right? You're living unhealthily. You're breaking the covenant. These days, we understand that our bodies, particularly our digestive system, contains a large quantity of microbes that play an important role in performance of many basic functions necessary for life. These bacteria in our bodies produce chemicals that help us harness energy for our metabolism and nutrients from our food. They make essential vitamins and act as a first line of defense against potential disease causing germs. While you might not think of it as such, the microbiome, as these microorganisms are collectively called, could be considered a super organ. So we got the new organ called the fascia, and we got another super organ called the microbiome, working in harmony with the human body. What is the microbiome? The human microbiome is the collection of trillions of microbes living in and on the human body. All of them are up under your command. All of them are vibing. They are giving off the vibration that you tell them, trillions of cells up under your command. You worried about controlling small companies of 1,000 people when you have control of 1 trillion cells just teaming up inside of you, waiting for you to align and understand the power of the human body. Your body is an expression of your mind. Your body is an expression of your spirit. Your mind is an expression of your emotions. Your mind is an expression of your intuition. Your mind is the physical expression of you. What is it saying about you? What is your microbiome saying about you? What is your fascia shaping your body into? Family, we have the keys, not to eternal life. We have the keys to a happy and healthy life. See, because I'm not greedy. Because I understand next generations got to come. And I got to make room for them. Right? But I got to also make sure that there's finances so that they could do what they need to do. And I also have to make sure that they could live a healthy life like I did. Like I'm going to. Like you are going to. That's our responsibility. The benefits of friendly gut bacteria are widely accepted. However, many of us may not be aware that our lungs also contain their own ecosystem of microorganisms, an ecosystem that scientists are discovering might be just as important to our health and our immune system. With 40 years of history of respiratory disease research, our scientists are working to advance our knowledge of the lung microbiome. Our aim is to shed new light on the microbial community to see if it can help us develop new medicines. See, they want to harness the microbiome. They want to get in there and start discovering shit that's already out here. Family, our children are getting sick because we're not letting them play in the dirt. Family, our children are getting sick because we got these bacteria killing things around our houses. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't sterilize stuff, right? I'm not saying that we shouldn't wash dishes, right? But there is environmentally friendly stuff that we can use that will kill the deadly ones, the deadly bacteria, the deadly germs and stuff to us, right? But our immune system, we're coddling our immune system. So when our immune system run up against some tough shit, it punks out. It punks out. You know what I'm saying? It's not being trained. No. As soon as we get sick, we go and we get some antibiotics, take that shit, knock it out, and knock out our microbiome at the same time. Just kill shit indiscriminately, right? Rather than killing. So our immune system is not strong. We got all these babies being born with C-sections, right? So they're coming into the world not being exposed to their mother's microbiome, right? As soon as our child gets sick, we take them to the doctor as a child. They come in the world sterile. And the part of breastfeeding is to help that child not only get the nutrients that it needs, but it also exposes the child to the mother's microbiome. And her body produces what the child needs, right? It sends in healthy bacteria and yeast and fungi and all this shit that we've been taught that we need to get away from. It sends this into the child and helps to populate the child's microbiome, which prevents the child from getting a lot of unhealthy bacteria and yeast and stuff into their body. And it cuts down on them being able to catch the asthma, catch all types of allergies, prevents them from getting diabetes and a lot of the diseases, a lot of this disease that we are running into are offshoots of us not treating our bodies right. Family, I'm not saying you got to give up everything. I'm just saying when it's time to take care of your body, it's time to take care of your body. Right? Kick it hard as you want. But every now and then you need to fast. Every now and then you need to go to the sweat lodge. Every now and then you need to sit your ass in the sauna. Every now and then you need to hold your breath. Every now and then you need to practice your breathing. Every day you need to go on and get you know what I'm saying? If you could do some fucked up shit every day, you could do some right stuff every day. Right? See, I'm not a purist, right? I understand that, you got to let loose. I understand, right? I understand that you like your beef. I understand you like your chicken. I understand you like all the shit you like. You like the freaky sex. You like all that shit, right? And I ain't even telling you to stop. But what I'm telling you is to take in consideration moderation, right? Take in consideration moderation. Take in consideration that every now and then, just like you could engorge yourself and eat at a all-you-can-eat restaurant, every now and then, periodically, it's good for you to allow your body to purify itself and allow your body to reset through fasting. I know that you like to get out and drink your liquor and shit. You know what I'm saying? I know some of y'all like to smoke, right? We all got our thing, right? But every now and then, right? Every morning you need to get up. You need to drink you some water. You need to get your body. You need to pump into your body what you need. You need to get your probiotics. I know that every now and then you like to deal with your stress, you like your drama and shit, but every now and then you need to quiet your mind and you need to focus on your breath every day. Just a little bit, just a minute a day. I'm asking you, far as the Nguzo Saba challenge, I'm only asking you for a minute a day. That's all I'm asking you. And I'm asking you to give it to me, right? If you can't give it to yourself, give it to me, right? If you can't do the minute for yourself, give it to Brother Hatim, right? Because I need you to be watching the video. I need you to be reading the articles, right? Because y'all have motivated me to do a whole lot. Y'all have motivated me to learn. So if you can't do it for yourself and you ain't got nobody else in your life to do it for me. Okay? But if you could do it for yourself, do 1 minute. And I guarantee you, this is what I guarantee you. I promise you this. I promise you. Listen to me. I promise you this, right? Whether you're doing a Nguzo Saba challenge or you're just doing a minute a day for yourself, whatever you're doing, right? If you give yourself 1 minute a day, you'll find that minute is not enough. And it'll grow into 2 and 3 minutes. And then from there it'll grow. So, Brother Hatim, what you talking about doing for a minute? I'm saying, drink water for a minute. I'm saying, better yet, let's start with the most important thing. Breathe for a minute. I sent out a video to everybody that is part of the Nguzo Saba challenge. It's called the Ashe breath. It's culturally linked. It's a breathing pattern that's culturally linked. You know what I'm saying? It's culturally appropriate for you. Do it 1 minute. I'm asking. That's all I ask. I guarantee you're going to feel a little bit different. And then if you do it a minute a day, you start finding out for at least 21 days, you'll find out that minute is not long enough. Family, I know I'm going over my 30 minutes, but listen, we are missing out on something very important. We are missing out on an opportunity not only to change the world, but more importantly to change ourselves. We want to change the world. We got to change ourselves. We got to change our minds. Family, we're moving into a whole new millennium. We are at the fringes of a new millennium that could be ours. We gave the last millennium away. We gave it away. We gave it away. I know a lot of y'all saying it was forced, but family, we did something. We forgot something. We got relaxed, we got comfortable, and we gave a millennium away. We might have gave 2 millenniums away. And I'm saying, family, if we don't do it, if you can't do it for you, do it for your children. Do it for our children. Even if you don't have children, realize you might got nieces and nephews. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting your nieces and nephews on video so that you can see them, how they trying to grow, how you see our children imitate. When you see my daughters and my sons doing what I do, you see that they imitate us. So if we allow people to walk on us, what are they gonna do? If we allow people to take advantage of us politically, what are they gonna do? If we allow people to rob us economically and come into our community and wipe their feet and leave the shit on the carpet and just take the money and leave, what are they going to do? If we are not defending our borders, what are they going to do? They're going to imitate what we do. So family, all I'm saying is please, we have to start changing. Please. Please. And it starts with us realizing the tools that we've been given, right? Many of us is rushing out here and we're trying to master these other systems. And we got this system that is just marvelous. And by us understanding this, we'll understand economics. There's no better economist than your body. There's no better political system than your body. There's no better, you know what I'm saying? There's no better mathematician than what's going on inside of you. And once you start mastering this and you start aligning with your breath, and you start aligning with the water and you start aligning and you start getting what you need inside of your body, there will be no problems that we cannot solve. There will be no battles that we cannot win. There will be no struggles that we cannot overcome. I'm sorry. All right. Until recently, it's 2012, there was a little investigation on lungs microbiome, says Dr. Jim Brown, who coordinates microbiome research at GSK. I don't know what GSK is. This may have been because it was widely believed by clinicians that the healthy lung was a sterile environment, free from bacteria and other microbes. But research in this area is moving quickly, now mapping the lung microbiome in a major goal for scientists investigating new treatment approaches. Now check this out. Humans are made up of around 23,000 genes, but the human body also contains 3 million non-human genes. 23,000 genes are human. 3 million genes are not human. This means, family, listen, that's less than 10%. So I was mistaken when I said, we might need to reclassify ourselves. COPD. Okay. To achieve this, we have joined forces with researchers from the University of Lancaster to study changes in the bacteria ecology in the lungs of people with chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD. How many of y'all got people in your family with COPD? How many of y'all would love to be able to help? And you don't just go and present the information. You start making changes in your life so that they can see the glow from you, right? You know what I'm saying? And you can offer. You know what I'm saying? Of course, they're going to turn it down the first 15, 20, 30 times. But as they see you start to do your thing and you start to glow, they're going to be like, what? What are you doing? And next thing you know, they with you. COPD is a condition where airways become inflamed and the air sacs in the lungs are damaged. When people with COPD experience exacerbation, a worsening of symptoms that can be fatal if not treated immediately, we know that bacteria are a major cause. Our research in investigating how changes in the different bacteria groups in the lungs can affect the frequency and severity of the exacerbation episodes. We're also looking at how different treatments affect the different microbial groups and whether they might be potential targets for new medicines. Now listen, family, I apologize because I be murdering some of these words. Alright, it's Latin. I got African lips. I got an African jaw structure. Right? I'm trying to give the information the best I can. So I apologize for past mistakes and I'm apologizing for future mistakes. Alright? If it bothers you that much, find somebody that says it right. I'm sorry. As we've learned more about COPD over the years and its effect on patients, we come to understand that not all COPD exacerbations are the same, explains Dr. Ruth Singer, Vice President and Head of COPD Clinic Discovery at GSK. I don't know what GSK is, I apologize. By looking at the lung microbiome in great detail, we're able to better understand and categorize these episodes. This has implications for how we develop new medicines and how we could better manage patients' conditions. Once again, they're going to try to pimp out the microbiome, family, right? We need to come up with the natural methods of dealing with this shit. Family, breathing exercises. One, what's the 4 things we need? What are the 4 needs? Proper breathing, proper water, proper food, proper movement. Long life, healthy life, recovery. As we learn more about COPD over the years and its effect on patients, we come to understand that not all COPD exacerbations are the same, explains Dr. Ruth. Singer, Vice President and Head of COPD Clinical Discovery at GSK. By looking at the lung microbiome, I read this in great detail, we're able to better understand and categorize these episodes. This has implications for how we develop new medicines and how we can better manage patients' conditions. There's 37.2 trillion bacteria are estimated to be living in and on our bodies. That's at least equal to the number of human cells in a body. That's just bacteria. 37.2 trillion bacteria are estimated to be living on your body. 37.2 trillion, right? So when motherfuckers say you can't count that high, right? You ain't got this type of money. You got 37.2 trillion bacteria living on you. You know what I'm saying? Working with you, right? That you got control of. And you control them, you can control the world. Our research, which has been published in European Respiratory Journal, uncover complex pattern of interacting relationship within a diverse population of different species of bacteria in the lung. The research reveals how the fine balance of our lungs' microbial community may be dictated by only a few bacterial groups. A key finding was that microbial diversity was reduced during exacerbation, suggesting that having a diverse lung microbiome could act as an additional line of defense in fending off infections and protection against tissue damage. How do you get, family? I don't even have to read the rest of this. How do you get a healthy lung microbiome? Come on, say it with me. Proper breathing, proper water, let's say right breathing, right water, right food, right movement. If you're taking care of the microbiome in the belly, right? How you not, right? How you, if you're eating the right food, drinking the right water, doing the proper movements, right? If you're doing all these things, breathing, doing breathing practice, how can you not have a healthy micro? All right, I'm gonna stop. Let me go and finish reading what they say. Looking at the way different microbes in the lungs behave showed us that disturbing the composition of just a few of these bacterial groups may greatly impact the overall microbial community structure. Family, especially those of you of the African persuasion. Now, all of y'all, we all have cultures, right? We need to look at the cultural diets that are connected from where we come, right? African heritage diet, black folks. African heritage diet, right? Because I need y'all to understand this. And I'm moving over. Listen, culture. Once again, culture is connected to the food, right? Because if there's not a food staple, there's no culture. Let me say that again. If there's not a food staple, you can't build a culture because you're struggling with getting food stability. If you're struggling with getting food stability, you can't really develop a culture. You don't have time because everybody's out hustling, because if not, y'all gonna die. Once you get a food staple, you're able to develop a culture. What is the food staple of your culture? What was the food staples of your culture? That now you not only have one, you have several. You have several. After one is established, other ones are developed, and from these foods and your relationship with these foods, the culture starts to grow up out of them. Why? Because that staple food allows you to develop the political system. It allows you to develop the economy. It allows you to develop the social structure. And that food promotes the health of the people. The data gave us a valuable insights into the relationship between microbes in the lung, the inflammation that can occur as a result of how this affects a patient conditions. More studies are underway. All right, family. I went over my time. I want to thank you for taking the time to join us today for our daily toast. Toast you and I drink to you. Hopefully you drink it to my health. drinking to my wealth. I'm drinking to your wealth. And let's get it. Let's combine it. And let's build. Alright, I'm out. Thank you for watching the video. I want you to subscribe. Click the bird right there, the fiery bird. And I also have a special video just for you, right there. And for those that want more information about gye-nyame Journey, go to our site. It should be right about there.